people? Welcome to my YouTube live. Today's an interesting day. I'm going to share some really interesting things with you. Papa has been implanting this morning, a whole lot. Actually, not just this morning, it's been ongoing. But I want to get a couple announcements out of the way here. Last week we talked about toxins. I'm going to talk a little bit about toxins this morning, but I wanted to let you know that I'm revamping things. I will be mastery certified as an integrative health practitioner very soon here, next week. Hopefully, maybe even this week yet. I'm waiting for my final exam to be released to me, so super excited. This has been a journey, and it's been an amazing journey, one I never anticipated. So, I want to first say and encourage you guys to always focus on growing. Every day we are given the opportunity to really be a different version of ourselves and a better version of ourselves. So, I've got a lot of really amazing things coming your way. Rather than doing my detoxes, my quarterly detoxes in a group setting, for one, I'm not going to have that kind of time available to me anymore because I will be doing a group coaching, and I also do one-on-one with my clients, and things are just filling up in a way that I just don't have the time to do 5 different detoxes every quarter. So what I am doing is I'm going to be creating a master class that will give you absolutely everything you need to know to understand, let's just say, toxins or parasites. You will have all of the information you need to understand what affects your body, how it affects your body, how to remediate them, and you'll also have a workbook to go along with it, as well as you will be given access to my community where you can then ask questions as you embark on your detox journeys. And the detox journeys that way will not just be quarterly. People can do them at their own pace whenever they want to. So these master classes are being formulated right now and put into place. And I have a free toxin guide as well, which is extremely important with our world as it is today. There's just a lot of toxins affecting our bodies, our minds, and then our spirits, because when we're not well, it's a tough journey. So I am reformulating that toxin guide as well, and I hope to have that released to you guys this week. So if you are not part of my newsletter, I would encourage you to join. For those of you that are on Faith-Led Living, you can, that's the homesteading, off-grid living, Faith-Led Living newsletter. Go to faithledliving.com/newsletter. And my health and wellness is faithledhealing.com/newsletter. I want to encourage you to join both because that is being revamped also. Each week I will be releasing a new newsletter with valuable tips with the intention and designed in a way that you can easily print it out and add it to a binder and have that as a resource guide. The game plan is also to, at the end of the year, every year, for those that don't want to print it out, create a master PDF or maybe even a print magazine of the yearly newsletter so that you have that as a resource. As I said, Papa is in planning. There's a lot of amazing things coming your way. So join my newsletter, because when you join the newsletter, you will be the first to know when my new revamped toxin guide is available to you. You'll also be the first to know of all the things that are going to be getting released upcoming. You will have first access to my coaching program at a starter rate, let's just say, or a special rate because you are part of the tribe. So I did want to mention a couple things that I didn't mention last week, just in regard to toxins. you know, amalgams, your fillings are a huge culprit. Many people my age and older are walking around with a mouthful of metal, and over time, those mercury fillings begin to leach mercury into our bodies. After my healing journey, I had all of mine removed. And it is important that you go to a holistic dentist that's going to remove them properly. It's costly. So if you can't go that route and you have to go to your regular dentist to get them out, getting them out is more important than anything, and we can detox the mercury if you can't go that route. But I do recommend, if you can afford to have them removed holistically, because if they do not, you're breathing in the mercury that they are grinding out. You are also getting that mercury absorbed in your tissue in your mouth. And if they don't clean out your mouth properly and remove all of that residual mercury as they're working to remove them, that is going into your system, and it's excessive amounts. So that's why it's important. Also, if your children are getting fillings in their mouths today, be certain that they are not getting the mercury fillings, because believe it or not, it's a known cause of toxicity and it's still being administered. Shocker. Fluoride is another perfect example, and again, shocker. They put that in our city water and in our children's mouths at the dentist because it eliminates cavities. However, it's a extreme toxin. So, these are things, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Education and awareness is vital. Knowledge is power only, I feel, when we put it into action. So I am going to be providing you with a toxin guide that lists all of this stuff, because I could be on here with you for 2 hours talking to you about all the varying things that we need to be aware of and what to look for. That's why I'm putting it in it's basically an ebook that you will have and that you can refer back to, because all the big long names that I can't even pronounce that are in our food and in our personal care items, we can't pronounce them, we can't spell them, but if you have a resource guide that has them in and you can compare your product to the resource guide, it's very helpful. And, I'm trying to make things as easy as possible for my people, and I want to reach as many people as I can with these messages. So I'm making these free resources so that you have them, but please share them with your friends. Let your friends know what I am offering, because this is going to get very deep very quickly. I'm going to be sharing a lot of information and offering and having these things available to you. My team and I are working tirelessly to bring you a lot of valuable information. Now, I almost feel like today's, and I'm going to continue talking about toxins in the regard that when my master class is available, I'm going to let you know. It'll be available to you for free. And when my toxin guide is available, which should be hopefully this week, that's my game plan, at the latest next week, you'll know in the newsletter that it's available. I will also announce it here when I go live next week. So that stuff's coming to you, and I think it's more effective for me to share it in that regard. I've alerted you. We've got toxins in our air, in our environment, in our food, in our personal care products, in our cleaning products. The more aware and in the air, and the more we are aware of the toxins and the things that are harming us, the more we can make adjustments to our life to make it better and so that we are healthier. And, there's a lot we can do. And then, the best thing we can do is the best we can with what we've got and where we're at. And also then knowing how to remove the toxins that maybe we are still getting from the food or the environment, the air. I think, like I said last week, I think it's really important for us all to be on a daily detox protocol and on a binder, because, I'm gonna share a video on the channels, probably on the Faith-Led Healing channel, of what it looked like here a couple nights ago. when we had heavy wind and all the pollen and all the dust and all the crap that's coming from the air was letting loose of the trees. I mean, it was a disaster. Let's just put it that way. I'll share it with you then. But I want to talk about something even deeper today. I just had a lot of revelations this morning, a little bit of a tear-filled morning. For those of you that have been with us all these years, we've been sharing on YouTube for 15 years. For 13 of those years, I've had a partner in crime. I got my husband a Rhodesian Ridgeback puppy back in 2013, and she became mine. I purchased her during hunting season, and I was nurturing her and enabling the guys to go off hunting. Usually, I'm out there joining them, but I nurtured this puppy, and this puppy became my partner in crime. She just connected with me. And you've heard me talk about Miss Copper. For those of you that have been following me on Mountain Woman Radio all these years, it was she and I off in the woods somewhere recording the podcast. To the degree that, she'd be all over the place, running around with me as we're walking, and I'd start recording, and that dog did not leave my side. Glued to me, just scanning the area so that she could protect me, because she knew, just sensed that I wasn't fully aware of my surroundings. I feel like I was, because I was always scanning as well. It's just my nature. But she took that job very seriously. And as soon as I was done and said, God bless, that dog knew and just was off and running again, doing her thing, but paying attention with me, very situationally aware always of where I am. If I go, she goes. In this yard, like wherever I am, she's following me always. And she is having a very rough time. She's 13. And she is, it's getting close. We have to help her up and down the stairs. Her back legs and her hips are really weak. So going the stairs is just very difficult for her. It's getting to the point where, pooping is probably going to get hard because she doesn't have the strength in her legs to hold herself up. So, it broke my heart this morning. And I had I'm going to try to keep it together, a really deep revelation in what this dog means to me and how much she has taken care of me. This dog has taken care of me better than many of the people that have been part of my life over my lifetime. I'm very blessed to have an amazing husband and son, beautiful in-laws. They're my family. My dad was my people. But my dog took better care of me than much of my biological family has. I had this, these aha moments this morning. It was a quick just process of going through a lot of thoughts as I was thinking about this morning. And, many of the people that were in my life that didn't take good care of me were because I was attracting the wrong people. And that led me down a path and I attracted the wrong people because of my low self-esteem. My low self-esteem was that because of my mother. And it led me down this path but wow, I made decisions to soar above even the words that were spoken to me. So let me just give you the example. In one breath, my mother would say, you can be anything you want to be, and you could do anything you set your mind to, and then bam, with the backswing, you're never going to amount to anything. Those were like within the same breath. So often in my life, and that's why my self-esteem was what it was. However, and she always snarkily said that I wore my pink shady glasses because I had a obscure version and view of the world. However, that obscure view and vision of the world has brought me here. And it was the pink shady glasses that allowed me to hone in on anything you set your mind to, you can do. The backswing brought a spine straightening, don't tell me I can't, in me. So although the enemy meant all of that for the bad, God used it for the good. What a 2-minute thing, right? I looped through all of that so fast in my processing of this beautiful dog that has served me so well. So pray for Miss Copper. My prayer is that she passes in her sleep and goes with dignity and goes without pain and suffering. And, you know, animals are amazing. Animals pick up on where we're at and our needs. And there are good people in our lives that do the same. But I want to remind you, and this is the deep part of the message, and you've heard me say this before, we are not defined by other people's inability to see our worth. I praise my mother-in-law for sharing those words with me 9 years ago. Because in my healing journey, I needed to walk away from my family because I was allowing them to define me because they didn't see my worth. And because at that time, I needed a stress-free environment. I needed as little toxicity as possible, and not from our environment, but from the people around me. I needed to sever from the toxicity, and it served me well. And then Papa took me back into that realm, but only after I had healed and gotten to a place where that level of toxicity could no longer affect me. And that is what I teach in my community, is all the lessons I've learned and how we can grow in ourselves, how we are not defined not only by other people's inability to see our worth. That was so foundational. Those words really helped me plant my feet in who I am and in whose I am, and to be proud of who I am. But keep in mind also that we are not defined by other people's junk. You know, that's part of why my mom has the dysfunction that she does, is because she is defined by her past. You know, I know her story. And people have to choose to grow. I grow. I want to grow every day to be a better version of myself. I gotta watch my time. I was only supposed to be on here 15 minutes. We're on here 20. A few more minutes, and then I've got to go because I have a group coaching session. But, you know, there are people in our lives who have a past that they haven't overcome. We also have people in our lives who have that, and they're just not willing to let it go. They allow it to be who they are because they place their value there, where dysfunction isn't value. Dysfunction holds us back. And I want to encourage you to choose your people well that surround you. I am blessed with so many beautiful people surrounding me right now. Like I said, my husband, my son, I call them, it's my family, my in-laws. They're beautiful, beautiful people. But I have a community of beautiful people surrounding me. I have what I call my holy ground, which is my team. We are walking on holy ground because we allow Papa to lead the way in everything we do. That's in my life, that's in my business. Like, Papa's in every aspect of my life. That's how it should be. He's our foundation, and he needs to come first so that our emotional and mental health are aligned with our spiritual health so that we can be physically balanced. That's how it works. You know, I won't waver from that, and that's what I teach because I've seen the truth in it. I found the truth in it. And, you know, animals, value your animals. They are so precious because they are man's best friend. You know, when they attach to you, they are attached to you for life. And what was really crazy, I got to share this with you. One day last week, I'm out doing things on the homestead here, and I am tripping over my son's dog. You know, my son's dog is always part of the picture. He's an awesome dog as well. Absolutely love him. But there was a torch passed that day, and I think that that is the day that my big copper, she's a Rhodesian Ridgeback, realized, 120-pound dog, realized that, you know, she is not able to keep up with me anymore. And she was laying on the porch, and I know it pained her because, man, that dog just looks out for me. Like, she would sit tirelessly on this porch all day long waiting for me to return from a trip to town. And my husband would say when I get home, it's about time, this dog is going nuts, you know. But she sits and she watches watches me walk off, keeps an eye on me as best she can. But my son's dog took over. And I mean, he was my shadow. I was tripping over him. He was following me everywhere. And since that day, he has taken over the duty. So, you know, and my husband's like, what is up with this dog? Like, I think a torch was passed today. You know, they are our most valued and prized possessions because they really hone in on us and take care of us. And I pray that each of you also has that horde of people that is just like that in your life. And if you don't, I pray, and I pray that you pray for those right people to come into your lives, because I've had evil people in my life, and I praise Jesus that he's removed them. You know, that was a blessing, multiple blessings throughout my life when those people dropped out of my life. And there was a reckoning period in 2016, and I prayed, Papa, bring good people into my life. Good people, nurturing people, people that I can nurture. And sure enough, he did. And they've been with me ever since. And they surround me and they support me, and I surround them and support them. We pray for each other. We sharpen each other. It's a beautiful thing. So I just want to read a couple things to you because Nehemiah is a rebuilding. In the Bible, I read Nehemiah. It's a beautiful story of the rebuilding of the wall. But when I read this, it was during my season, and it was a rebuilding of me. And we all have that opportunity to rebuild. And I want you guys to focus on that. I want you to focus every day on rebuilding yourself. Be excited about the opportunities in life. We don't have to be stagnant. As one of my clients shared, we don't need to hold ourselves in prison. We need to be willing and ready to grow and go where Papa's taking us, because we have a purpose on this earth. He has a plan for us. So Nehemiah 4:14 says, don't be afraid of the enemy. Remember the Lord who is great and glorious. And this is to remind me to tell you that I have a Bible study in my community. If you're not part of the community, faithledhealing.com/community. We just did this month's Bible study on Tuesday. The replay is in the community. We are moving forward, and we are focusing on spiritual warfare. We will be reading, just left me. This Present Darkness is the name of the book. Frank Peretti is the author. You can find that by going to faithledhealing.com/thispresentdarkness. Knowledge is power. We need to know what the enemy is doing in the world around us and in our lives. And when we have that intuitiveness of his presence, we can combat him right here with the word. It says right here along the side, this is how I fight my battles, and that's exactly it. Nehemiah 2:18. Yes, let's rebuild the wall. So they began the good work. So, yes, let's rebuild me. Put your name in there. So they began the good work. Begin the good work. Rebuild. We are not defined by anything other than who God says we are. And I want you to plant your feet in that. And Nehemiah 9:17, you are a God of forgiveness, gracious and merciful, slow to become angry, and rich in unfailing love. Get in my community. I shared the sermon from my. I talked about Rahab, prostitute. She is also like, I think it's the 34th out great grandmother of Jesus. Regardless of our story, regardless of our sins, regardless of what we've walked out in this life, regardless of who we think we are and who we say we are, God's got a plan and God can use us regardless what we've done, what we've been through. And oftentimes because of what we've been through, because of what we've done, he can use us even more. So that's my deep message from the wilderness this morning. I've got to jump off of here. That was deep. Papa's taking me into deep places. I'm going to do a video from our beautiful place on our property. We call it the $1 Million View, but I think it's going to get another name here soon. I will be doing a video from there. Keep an eye on the channel. You know, set your notifications because there's a lot coming your way and a lot more of these deep conversations coming your way. My goal is to help people to heal and to meet them where they're at. I've been in low places. I've experienced a lot of chaos and a lot of unfortunate things in my years, but I wouldn't change any of them because they've made me who I am. They've grown me and shaped me and molded me, and I celebrate where I am today, and I celebrate Papa because it's through him that I am where I am. So I hope this touched, nurtured, has reached you today. If it has, share it with your friends. There's other people that need to hear this message. And just keep my copy on the wall. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Get in my community. I'm also doing a breathwork session this morning. If you're interested in joining, you can go to faithledhealing.com/group session and join me. I'm not sure what's happening. My one is spinning. There we go. One of these screens was spinning. I have two of you on here at the same time. So I love you guys. Have an awesome rest of your day. May God bless you greatly. You are in my prayers. Thank you for joining me and listening in. You guys have a great day. God bless.